Okay, I think he's ready to show you. This is the version of Reaper King that I'll probably be playing tomorrow. I need to slow down so I can talk. Anyway, so Reaper King, yeah, 2 black, blue, red, green, white. 6/6 legendary artifact creature, Scarecrow. Looks cool. Other Scarecrow creatures, Crow get +1/+1. I always forget about that. Whenever another Scarecrow comes into play into your control, destroy target permanent. Yeah, that's where we're going to be going with. And this is an Ostruzhna deck. So this is being built for Ostruzhna, but I'm going to test it tomorrow in Prague. The hardest part was the mana base, because he's 5 colors. That's not easy. For Kenrith, I went with basic lands, +3 non-basics, Thawing Glaciers, Mana Confluence, and Fabled Passage. For Reaper King, because I've got so many different color mana requirements, I went with Shocklands, Triomes, Fetch Lands, things that hurt me. Things that hurt me real bad. I was playing with the deck and kind of just going through and goldfishing, and I was like, what, took 6 damage in the first 4 turns from Shocklands. Yeah, that's going to happen. Life gain might be an issue. Anyway, so I've got Rainbow Veil for an easy way to get any color mana needed. The way to play this is you make a deal. So you play this, you find, you look around, see who's kind of mana screwed, and you tell the guy who's kind of mana screwed, hey, I've got this Rainbow Veil. I need to use it. If I use it and I pass it to you, are you going to puff and pass it back? Pass the Rainbow Veil from the left-hand side? When you finish your turn, you would use it on your turn? And if they agree to your terms of the deal, pass to them. Rainbow Veil. Smithing Tithe. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they may pay 2. If they choose not to, you get treasure. Yep, Nature's Sword, go find a forest, put it on the battlefield. So this finds Triomes, this finds Shocks, this finds... maybe I should put the Bayou and the Taiga in here, but I don't really have a problem with green so far. But that's something that I need to consider. Maybe I should take out the Overgrown Tomb and the Stomping Ground for the 2 dual lands I actually have, so that I don't take damage from them. Let me think about that. Zago Triumph, blue, black, blue, or green. You can cycle it. And actually, in this deck, I've got Conduit World. So cycling these, normally I don't like to cycle them. Screw that. I need the mana. Fuck that. But if I have Conduit of Worlds in play, and I can play lands from my graveyard, and I'm thinking of putting Sun Titan back in the deck because I just love Sun Titan, and the deck has weight, so we could run Sun Titan, and he's so fucking cool. I can cycle these, and Sun Titan can get it back. Conduit World, I can play it back. Gauntlet of Marvin. The theme of the deck is tokens. So the idea, just to jump to the chase, so you don't have to watch the whole video if you don't want to, because not everybody watches the whole damn thing. Through Conspiracy and Enchantment, that I choose a creature type. All my creatures, anywhere they are that creature type. Or Maskwood Nexus, kind of the same thing, only it's a 4 mana artifact. I choose Scarecrow. Well, with Maskwood Nexus, I don't have to choose a damn thing. They're all creature types. Full stop. But Conspiracy, I have to choose creature type, choose Scarecrow, get Reaper King into play. Whenever I play a creature, it will be a Scarecrow when it comes into play. And if I'm generating a lot of tokens each turn, that means every turn, whenever another Scarecrow comes into play under my control, destroy target. It's not a May. I don't get a choice. I've got to blow something up. It's not my fault, man. Reaper King says I gotta blow something up. And if you're down to lands, well, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna blow up my stuff. Although I did put in Ephara, God of the Palace, so if she's in play, I can be nice, and I can target her with Reaper King effect. If my opponents are down to lands, I've blown up all their planeswalkers, artifacts, enchantments, creatures, any other permanents they have, then I can start targeting my Ephara, and she will not be destroyed because she's indestructible, and that way I can not be a dick and do land destruction. And Astrushna, though, the dick moves are just part of the game. So there we go. Goblin Bombardment, sack a creature. Goblin Gababa deals 1 damage to any target. Yeah, Gaba. Maybe I should just call it that. Gababa. I play 1 red and 1 colors, and I play Gababa. What? Are you on drugs? No, I just play Gababa. Anyway, Dryad of the Listen Grove. During a green, I can play additional lands on each of my turns. Lands I control every basic land type in addition. Yeah. So he complements the Chromatic Lantern, and he's my exploration. Jetfang, Squirrel General, Forest Walk. Not that I expect to do much forest walking. This deck it's a standoff deck. I can attack. Goldfishing, I realized if I get the right cards, the Tendershoe Dryad, the Wanderglyph guy, and I've got the City's Blessing, and I'm pumping out 3 3s, and then I've got, say, Warleader's Helix, and I have a bunch of 4 4s. Attacking is actually a viable option at that point, but the deck is not designed to have combat be its primary method of damage. It's designed as a standoff deck. So anyway, Cheddarfang here, he doubles my tokens when they come into play, although the doubled ones are squirrels. Spend 1 black, sacrifice X squirrels, target creature gets plus X, neg X, plus, and then minus, so it kills creatures. March of the Multitudes. Basically, if I have a bunch of green-white creatures, at instant speed I can double my creatures and get a bunch of 1/1 white soldiers with lifelink, because if they're all green and white, all my tokens, just tap them out. Say I've got 10, tap them out, March of the Multitudes, put 10 into it, so I get 7 1/1 white lifelinking soldiers. Some basic land. Scute Swarm. I didn't really want to put this in here because of the trigger problem. And I kind of saw it. I play fetch land. If I'm at 5 lands, I play fetch land, I'm at 6. I get a Scute Swarm token, not an insect token. I crack the fetch. Then I get another land in play. Then I get 2 Scute Swarms. And then next turn, if I play Skyshroud Claim, and I go find 2 lands and put them into play, and that's barring if I have another land in my hand and I've not dropped a land I didn't like playing with him, against him on Arena. He was a kill on sight. He's probably going to be a kill on sight in this deck. Tendershoe Dryad. If you control 10 or more permanents, the city blesses you forever. At the beginning of every upkeep, create a 1/1 green. Let me just get to Afara. Let me show you what's really cool that I realized. And you probably already know what I realized. She's at the bottom of the damn deck. All these cards. She's at the bottom. Tivoli. Where is she? Damn it, I passed her in my frenzied rush to find her. Where is Afara, god of the police? Set those there. There she is. I just wasn't paying enough attention. So anyway, she's kind of my primary draw engine. So if I have Afara in play, and Tendershoe Dryad or the Wanderglyph dude, I get to draw a card every turn. Because at the beginning of each upkeep, I create a 1 green sapling token. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you had another creature enter the battlefield under control last turn, draw a card. So I play, let's say I've got her, I play Tendershoe Dryad. Pass the turn. My opponent, I get a creature. At the end of his turn, he passes, I draw a card, and I get a creature. Beginning of each upkeep. So That's a pretty good draw engine. I like that. I'm glad that's going to work out. Nadir's Nightblade. I'm thinking of putting in, I don't know, Settle the Wreckage or something. So the deck, one of the things about the deck is I can have too much protection. I don't have a lot of creatures in the deck, so early creatures are a problem. Let me just look at Moxfield, and how many creatures do I have in here? 18. I only have 18 creatures, and I actually dropped one. I dropped the Clarion Spirit because this deck doesn't play... The previous version of Saskia, I was playing fairly regularly a second spell each turn. This version is not doing that, so Clarion Spirit got cut. Most of the creatures, a lot of them cost 4, 5, 6. Beldur's Witherbloom costs 7. So I don't have that many early creatures. I don't have that many early defenses, and that could be a problem. But anyway, she doesn't care how the token left the battlefield. All she cares about is that it did. So if I have, sacrifice effects, other ones, I'm thinking I should put a Phyrexian Altar in the deck. If I put Phyrexian Altar, sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color. I have an Ashnod's Altar, but this deck needs colored mana, needs it badly. So Phyrexian Altar is better, it's just that they're 20 or 30 euros. And I don't want to spend that right now. But if I have Phyrexian Altar, or Ashnod, either one does, whenever I sacrifice a token, she doesn't care how it left. All she cares about is that it did, and she'll do what she does. I actually killed somebody in the previous version of Saskia with the Nadir's Nightblade. I think I killed more than one person. That's pretty nice. Sterling Grove, other enchantments you control have Shroud. The deck has a lot of enchantments. The deck has like 18 enchantments, including Afara, Purphoros, and the Dryad of Listen Grove. So I actually put in Serra's Sanctum in the deck. But anyway, this, I don't want to run it out before I have a mana available. So I run it out there, and if somebody decides to destroy it because they don't want me to have my artifacts protected, I need to have 1 mana available to sacrifice it, go find an enchantment, show it off, and then shuffle and elaborate and put it on top. Doubling season? Yep. Double your tokens, double your fun. Impact Tremors! Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to each opponent. Yeah, that's the theme of that's how I'm going to kill people. Or shards. Whenever a creature comes into play, destroy target artifact. I may. I don't have to. But I usually do. Sacred Foundry. No under possession. Double your tokens. Not your counters, like doubling season, just the tokens. One time with, when this deck was Saskia, one of the Saskia tokens, I got Auric Champion to play on turn 2, and my opponents could not kill her, and I got up to 120 life. It was nice, so she's going to stay. Elspeth Thrill, again 1 life for each creature control. Yep. Make soldiers. If you have no into procession or a doubling season, make more. She's only good in the early game. Once I get the City's Blessing, if I have Tendershoot Dryad, or City's Blessing and I've got the Wanderlust dude, what the hell is he called again? Illustrious Wanderglyph. So either of those, if I have the City's Blessing, when they create the tokens, they will be 3/3. They will skip past her. My other token generators should still make 1/1s, 2/2s. But once I have the City's Blessing, the Wanderglyph and the Tendershoot Dryad will no longer be hurting my opponents. I'm thinking maybe I should take her out. Maybe I should find another effect that does the same thing, but I can't think of any. If you can think of something, let me know. City Brass. Whatever color mana you want, take it. It's going to hurt you, though. Maskwood Nexus. Creature controller, everything. but they're not artifact. So the Illustrious Wanderglyph, if I make a token with the Maskwood Nexus, let's say I've got Wisprigger Vampire, the Wanderglyph, Maskwood Nexus, Eye of the City's Blessing. Because artifact is not a creature type, it's a super type. When I create these shapeshifters, they'll still trigger the Wisprigger Vampire. So I've got that going for me. Beast Within, blows something up, its controller gets a creature. Fog with Spiders. So create X. 1/2 green spider creature token reach, where X is the number of creatures attacking you. So it won't help somebody else. I cannot use this politically. I cannot, I need to push it up there so you can see it. Fog, if you have fog and an opponent is about to take lethal damage and you need to keep him around as a buffer, you need to keep him around to take attention off of you, then you can fog and save his ass. Arachnogenesis says you. So I can't use Arachnogenesis to save somebody else. Tempt with Discovery. Oh, I love this card. Oh, it's great. I'll just say it again. I always say this whenever I show this card. Some of you are probably getting sick of it. But in a 4-man game, you will always get one guy that's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't get the land. He's going to get some bullshit land, don't do it. And you'll get one guy who's kind of screwed. And he says, I need the land though, I need it. And you'll get another guy that usually, he can go either way. So the guy that needs the land, if he breaks formation and he goes and gets the land, then the guy that can go either way, he's like, well, if he's getting a land, I'm going to get one too. And then the third guy, the last guy, she's like, fuck it, I'll get a land too. So you get 4. I've never got less than 3 lands off attempt with Discovery. Hallowed Fountain. There's that Serra's Sanctum. I have it listed for sale in MKM, but nobody's going to buy it because I'm selling it for the same price I bought it for, which is 100 euros more than what it goes for now. Yes, I bought it, and within a few months the price fucking tanked. Tanked hard. God, was I stupid for paying that much for it. But anyway, I did. I have it. Nobody's going to buy it for 250 euros. Not for a while, not until, the rest of the supply gets hoovered up by the people. So I put it in here, because I've got 18 damn enchantments, and it seems to work okay. I have 38 lands in the deck now, because Serra's Sanctum does nothing without enchantments. Guy's Cradle does nothing without creatures, but I'm more likely to have at least some creatures than I am some enchantments. Yeah, pretty Triumph. I love these full art. These aren't full art. I love the foil Triumphs. I like the way they look. And you can see, okay, you can't really see the plains on here, but okay, those look like mountains. That could be, it could be an island. The plains are over here somewhere where you can't see them. But the fucking Triumphs from Copacabana, how the hell do they look like an island or plains or anything? How, like the one that's a boxing ring in a warehouse. How is that the lands it's supposed to be? It's retarded. Stomping Ground, Mountain, Chromatic Lantern, land you control, tap for any color you want, and you can tap it for any color you want. Fellwar Stone, tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land opponent controls can produce. I like that, actually. I like this this new art. I don't like the 8th edition version. I don't like the hands holding the glowing rock. That doesn't appeal to me. But this one, and the original one from the Dark, the one by Quentin Hoover, I like those. There's another Triumph. It's really hard to tell if it's a forest. It kind of looks like a weird forest. It's probably on a mountain. But the island part, I can't tell where the island part is. But I can believe that it's there somewhere, because that just looks like some weird, fucked up land. It doesn't look like a warehouse. Blood Crypt. Skyshard Claim. Go find 2 forests. Throw them into play. Then shuffle. Untapped. Throw them into play untapped. Drained Hermit. comes into play, makes 4 little squirrel buddies, and as long as he doesn't die, which he will if you don't pay his echo, all your squirrels get +1/+1. Shrine, Forest, Grand Crescendo. Create X 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Creatures control gain indestructible until end of turn. You could just pay 2 white and make your creatures indestructible. You don't have to pump anything into it. But I like that it's an instant, so I can instantly make creatures, and if I've got aura shards, I could instantly destroy things. World Leader's Call. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under control, deals 1. So it's like Impact Tremors tied to Glorious Anthem. So that's the thing. I've got Impact Tremors, World Leader's Call, Whispering Vampire, and Purfrost God of the Forge. If there's anything else that does this, let me know, because I would like to have more of this, but 4 doesn't seem like it's enough. Guy's Cradle. Clever Concealment. So if you've got white creatures, you can just tap 4 white creatures and instantly phase your stuff out. Save them from board wipe. Save them from your opponent's fuckery. Archaeomancio. So because I've got Clever Concealment, I've got Grand Crescendo, March of the Multitudes, I've got all these instants and sorceries, Tempt with Discovery, Tempt with Vengeance, Tempt with Bunnies. It seemed only appropriate that I put in a Archaeomancer. Except I don't have... Maybe I should put in a way of exile. See, the thing is, to have the layers of protection I want, to have the layers of dependability I want, they start displacing other cards. So if I put in, say, Venter, the Sojourner, to exile her or exile, there's not, the only other card I would want to exile would be Eternal Witness. So that's not worth it. But I still want a way to get the Archaeomancer back into play if she dies. I mean, Conduit of Worlds would do the trick, so I have that going for me. But I don't have Aura Stronghold in this deck. I don't have that much real recursion. I don't really have recursion at all. It's just, it is what it is. And if I start putting that stuff in, it starts displacing what the deck is actually supposed to do. So it's just a matter of how naked I want to be against whatever my opponents are doing. Temple Guard, Path of Ancestry, yeah, it comes into play tapped, but it's basically a command tower, and this deck needs the mana, needs the access to colors like that. Generous Gift. The Saskia version, I had Mortify and Putrefy. And 2 lads both said, you know those suck, you should put in Generous Gift and Beast Within. And they were right. And I did. Conduit of Worlds. I could play lands from my graveyard, I could choose a non-land permanent card in my graveyard. If I've not paid a spell this turn, I may cast that card, and then I can't cast anything else. Soul Ring. Power. The 10th card of the Power 10. Yeah, Arid Mesa. Plains. Beldur's Witherboom. Big ass dragon. At the beginning of every upkeep, I get a 1/1 black and green creature, and when that creature dies, I get a life. This is cool. To pay 10 life and tap all lands. I've done that a couple times, and I realized that's a pretty good ability. I like it. I kind of want to get him for the Saskia rebuild. The Saskia rebuild, I'm going to just re-engineer here. She's not going to be a token deck at all. Her theme is going to be evasion, flying, shadow, trample, however I can get the damn land walk, however I can get the creatures through. That's going to be her theme. 3 visits, but it only gets 1 land. So it's kind of 1 visit, isn't it? Arcane Denial. I've got blue, so decided to put in a few counter spells. I didn't put in Counterspell because I didn't know how quickly I would have access to double blue, how reliably I would have access to. I mean, I've got 5 Edgelands, I've got 5 Triomes, I've got all these Shocklands, but I've seen situations where a few turns will go by and I'm not getting a second of whatever color I want. I'm just not getting the second one. And when it comes to blue and counterspells, I don't want to be in the situation where I need to counter something. I really want to, but I don't have the blue. If I tapped it, that's my own fucking mistake. That's my own stupidity for being greedy. But if I just don't have the color, that pisses me off. So Arcane Denial. Elspeth. This is the foil one. Which costs less than the flat one. And I don't know why. And when I asked at Cherny Retige, they didn't know why either. It just is. And it still is. The flat copy, the non-foil copy, is still cheaper than the foil. I thought maybe it's because the foil is shitty. It's a shitty process. It looks like a layer of plastic, like the Avacyn Restored cards. No, it looks great. It's beautiful. So I don't know why it's cheaper, but shit, I bought 2 of them. 4 white for 4 loyalty Planeswalker. I can create creatures. If I've got Reaper King, and I've got Mask with Nexus or Conspiracy, I can create basically 3 Vindicates for 1 plus 1 loyalty. Or I can blow up everything big. Or it's got this emblem stuff that I don't expect to ever use. Yeah, Watery Grave. Forest. Calculating Lich. I'm thinking of taking him out. I'm thinking I don't need him, but in the back of my mind, I should have some kind of fallback plan. I should have something else. I mean, I talked about the Wanderglyph and the Tendershoot Dryad buffing the creatures and making them into viable threats, so he adds to that. Plus, he encourages my opponents to attack each other. So, if they attack each other, they do more damage. Win-win for them, win-win for me. Command Tower. Swamp. Crop Rotation. Time to play Crop Rotation. Sacrifice a land. Search the library for Serra's Sanctum or Gaia's Cradle. Put that into play, and then hope nobody blows it up. And we're going to have a part 2. Alright, let's keep going. We're about halfway through. So there's that. Bitter Blossom. Some lads have said this is not a good card in this deck. That there's better options. A few of them have tried to tell me about better options, but I don't feel they fit the theme of the deck. I can't remember offhand what they were. You remember what I said at the beginning about early blockers, early creatures? The deck has a problem getting early creatures into play. So Bitter Blossom helps solve that problem. Plus it reliably gives me a token every turn. I want things that reliably give me tokens every turn. In addition to the mass barrage effects of March of the Multitudes, Grand Crescendo. It's a balance. It's all a balance. So if there's anything in here you see that you don't think I should have, that there's a better option, which there probably are, because I don't know a lot of the new cards. So if there's a better option and you know about it, then tell me, because I'm all ears. Helm of Possession. So I can sacrifice creature, sacrifice token, and steal somebody's creatures. I can do it at instant speed. Okay, I'm going to attack. No, you're going to go to your combat step. Okay, I'll go to my combat step. Alright, I'm going to sacrifice a token and take that big scary bastard that I really can't deal with. I'm going to take him away from you. You can have him back later. Conspiracy. Sterling Grove can find Conspiracy. It cannot find Mask with Nexus, but I like the duality, the backup of having both in the deck. Maybe I don't need both. Maybe I should just put in a Demonic Tutor, because the other problem is finding one of the 4 win conditions. Whisper Vampire, which, as I said, she's only good in the early game. At some point later she will shut off for most of the token effects. So that leaves Purphoros, Impact Tremors, and War Leader's Helix. War Leader's Call, not Helix, War Leader's Call. So I've only got 3 real win cons in the deck. Calculating Lich is a backup. Smashing into people with a bunch of tokens is a backup, but it's not reliable because for the most part they'll just be 1/1s. And I don't really want to just shove a coat of arms in this deck. I could. I mean, I've got Mask with Nexus, I've got Conspiracy. I could shove a coat of arms in here. But then it's not really pushing the theme of the deck. It's not advancing my main plan. I need advice on cards that I don't know about, that you do, because you lads know the new cards, that will advance my plan. So anyway, Conspiracy. Got this from Yuji yesterday. Comes to play, choose creature type, Scarecrow. Creatures control creature cards in your graveyard, hand, and library are Scarecrows. So basically everywhere but exile. The command zone I have a Scarecrow too. Marsh Flats, Overgrown Tomb, Opposition. This maybe I don't need. Maybe there's a better option. I'm really curious what you lads think about this one. So 2 blue for an enchantment. I can tap an untapped creature I control to tap artifact, creature, or land. So again, my opponents are going to combat. I've got some 1/1 tokens. They've got some 20/20 tramplers. So I'll tap the 1/1 tokens to tap the 20/20 tramplers so they can't come at me. That is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of this as basically protection. But I don't know if it's sufficient. I don't know if it's the best option. I don't know if I just should put in a Settle the Wreckage or something else. I don't want too many one-shots. Yes, I do have Archaeomancer, but I don't want too many one-shot, instant deal with things. I would like to have more tricks on board. And with that, obviously this is a magnet for removal. So maybe I should put a privileged position in the deck too, but I don't know what to take out. I'm just kind of packed now. Scatter Arc. Isn't this a beautiful counterspell? Isn't this wonderful? For 4 mana, 4 fucking mana. Counter target non-creature spell. Non-creature. Can't even counter a creature. I get to draw a card though. And you're thinking, why do you have this shit in your deck? I have this shit in my deck because of the 2 blue problem. I need counterspells that I can cast reliably. And I can count on having 4 mana. Experience has shown I can't always count on having double blue when I need it real bad in a deck with this many colors. In a 3-color deck, yeah. 2-color deck, no problem. No problem at all. But 5, that's pushing it. So I had this for the art, and I like the quote. Should your chosen emissary be able to fluctuate triharmonic pentatodes, however unlikely, I shall shunt excess negavote radicals. Whatever the fuck that means. It just sounds cool. It's just some made-up magic scientific bullshit, right? But it does counter a non-creature spell. I will be able to cast it in this 5-color deck, and I get a card. Scalding Tarn, Dictate of Erebos. So when Dictate of Erebos flashes into play, it should be in response to a board wipe and make my opponent suffer for all the creatures that they're making me kill. Exotic Gorge, I like that. Look at the mouse there. Isn't he cute? Little mouse in the lower left-hand corner. Yep. Add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Should be pretty much everything. There he is, my illustrious Wanderglyph. This guy's cool. I forget his name, but the dude that wrote a treatise, he wrote like 6 paragraphs. It was wonderful. Gave me all kinds of ideas for the token deck. At least 20% of the deck is his suggestions. It was fantastic. And this is something I didn't know about. He did, and he told me. And I thought, oh, that's fucking fantastic. That's just, it's a white Tendershoot Dryad. It's perfect. So he's in here. Pitiless Plunderer. Chatterfang's little friend. Whenever another creature controlled dies, you get a treasure. And Chatterfang says, if you get a treasure token, you get another creature. So you can sacrifice the treasure for black mana to sacrifice the squirrel token I made to make something a little bit bigger, but a little bit weaker. And then Pitiless Plunder says, hey, you just sacrificed a squirrel. How would you like another treasure? And Cheddarfang says, hey, he made a treasure. Here's another squirrel. How long do you want to keep this up? Until all my opponent's creatures are dead. Purphoros, god of the forge. So, in the original Saskia, the token, he was killing people. The idea of attacking with tokens was not working. I wasn't getting enough tokens, or I wasn't making them big enough, or my opponents had too many defenses, so it was not reliable at all. But Purphoros, he was fucking reliable. And I won at least one game off of Nadyr's Nightblade, and I won one game off of Purphoros, and I almost won a second game off of Purphoros too. So he is the flash card. He is the man in this deck. Breeding Pool. Armilla's Sphere. There's only 10 There's 10 basic lands in the deck, and I wanted some color agnostic way of fixing my mana. The 3 visits, Nature's Lore, Tempted Discovery, and Skyshark all require green. I have seen anytime I go over 3 colors, even if I have 3 colors, sometimes I don't get that green when I want to start ramping. And in a 5-color deck, as with the counterspell, it's even worse. So this gives me a color agnostic way of finding a missing color of mana I need. 2 to cast it, 2 to use it, go find 2 basic land, put them in your hand, but at least you have them. Murder's Cause. Sack creature. Prevent all damage to creature or player from one sword. And there's no other cost. You just sack the creature. You don't have to pay mana. You don't have to pay life. You don't have to sing a song. Nothing. You just... What do you attack me with? I'm going to sack this little 1/1 nothing and stop all the damage. And it's any source. Any source of damage. Ooh. Okay, no. It's to a creature player. So somebody cast Blasphemous Act, and I had 8 creatures. I would have to sacrifice 8 creatures to save them because it prevents all damage from one source, but only to one target. It's still pretty good, I think. Into the Triome. Steam Fence. Balin, the draw engine. So Balin here, my little rabbit warrior, with his hot pepper staff, scythe, that he's going to shove up somebody's nose sideways. Okay, tap 2 and tap creature control, add 1 mana fixing. So he's mana fixing too. He's really good in the deck. Tap 3 and tap tokens you control, draw a card. With the old Saskia tokens, I was in a situation where it's something like a dozen treasure. My opponents, they were not paying for Smothering Tithe. They just didn't. How many treasure tokens do you have? Like 6? What's one more? Fuck it. And they all kept kind of doing that. So at the end of the opponent preceding me, I would have like 12 treasure tokens to draw 3 cards or 4 cards. Whatever set of 3 I had. So when it was 9 or when it was 10 even, tap 3, draw 3 cards. Once it got over 12, and then the genie said, you know the rabbit should be fucking huge by now, right? Because you should be tapping to put counters on him. Well, I was tapping it for cards. I wasn't really worried about him attacking. Pernicious Deed. Another argument for Sun Titan. Put it in play, sack it. Whatever mana you spent when you're sacking it, destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with that CMC or less. If I have Sun Titan, I can bring it back. Sun Titan, he brings this back. As it is, the only other ways I have of getting this back are Eternal Witness and Conduit of Worlds. And I don't know if that's sufficient. I don't know if I want to stick with that. Attrition. I used to put this in a lot of decks, and it used to be one of the first cards that came out because of the destroy non-black creature bit. Because a lot of my opponents were playing black creatures. Multicolor or just straight up black creatures. So I kept taking out attrition. I'm going to leave it in here and actually see it in action, see if it works. It should work. I mean, I'm making tokens. Sacrifice token, destroy some big ass creature. Of course, against Sidar Jabari, that's not going to help because he's black himself. Against Tyranids, I think they have black, so that's really not going to help. Against Roman, if he's playing his black-blue horror deck, that's not going to help. Maybe I should take it out again. Maybe I should just give up on attrition. I don't know. Eternal Witness. She comes into play. Pull something out of graveyard, put it in your hand. Rhystic Study. Yep, I pulled this out of Brago. Brago had Rhystic Study, and I pulled it out, and I gave him a Moldrifter. Moldrifter costs more. Comes into play a bit later unless I evoke it. But if I flicker it, I get 2 cards every turn. If I play Rhystic Study in Ostruzna, Francois will destroy it at the first chance he gets because he does not want to deal with it. He hates this card. So, last couple games that I played out there, if I got a Rhystic Study, at his first opportunity, it was gone. So, Moldrifter. And Reaper King and Aberrant. Of course, playing this in Ostruzna, he'll do the same thing, but I've got a Sterling Grove in here. Brago can't really have a Sterling Grove. Fountain Port. Add Kalilis in a 5-color deck. Fantastic. 2, sack a token, draw a card. Not bad. 3, pay 1 life. Ooh. But you get a 1/1 blue fish. That sounds funny. 4, tap, create a treasure token. That's like a high mana investment for a treasure token, isn't it? That's like some Bernie Madoff bullshit. But, if I've got nothing else to do with the mana, at the end of the opponent preceding me's turn, I might as well create a treasure token. Yeah, I chose Khan's Lands, Khan's Basics for Reaper King. I just did. Probably should have chosen Shadow. I probably should have selected Shadowmoor, but they're all duality. They're all like the island and the swamp. They go together. They create these Bitex. And to have a bunch of Bitex is just weird, so I just went with Khans. Misty Rainforest. Terror of the Peaks. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. So he's another kill my opponent effect, but I've got the option of killing the creatures. Of course, 5 for a 5/4 flying dragon. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, heal deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, anything I want. Bang, 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 die. So, if I'm making 3/3s with the Wanderglyph or the Tendershoot Dryad, then, at least he's lightning bolting things. Artifact Mutation. Instantly blow up an artifact and get tokens. Green sapling creature tokens, where X is that artifact CMC. It's a neat card in this deck. It works. Tempt with Vengeance. Oh, this is funny. So, again, the old Saskia, Purphos is out. Purphos is killing them. And I cast Tempt with Vengeance for like 6. And I had doubling season, so I was going to get 12. And I asked, does anybody else want any creatures? And they're like, what do you mean? Okay, I'm casting Tempt with Vengeance. I'm going to put 6 1/1 red elemental creature Frogs and Taste on the battlefield. For me, it's actually going to be 12 because I have doubling season. If any of you other lads decide you want 6 creatures, you can have them, and I will get an additional 12 creatures for each 6 you take. And they were pretty excited about it. And they were going to do it until I said, you do know I have Purphos in play, don't you? I'm like, tell us, new players, tell us again about Purphos. Okay, when I put my 12 tokens into play, all of you are going to take 24 points of damage. And like, and if you take the creatures, I get that many creatures that'll be doubled, so you'll take another 24 points of damage. I will win the game right now. And like, okay, we're not going to get the creatures. But they were tempted. they were sorely tempted. So I try them. Unwind. Another counter non-creature spell. I tap up to... The thing I'm thinking is, so a Scatter Arc, non-creature spell. Unwind, non-creature spell. I'm thinking have the counter spells, the 4 of them that I have in the deck, should be able to deal with spells. Attrition, Tear the Peaks, the other protection I have should be able to deal with creatures once they resolve. That's kind of my thinking. Not sure how it's going to work, but that's kind of my thinking. Verdant Catacombs, Island, Swamp, Tempt with Bunnies. So for 3 mana, draw a card and create a 1/1 bunny. Then each opponent may draw a card and create a 1/1 white bunny too. For everybody who does, you get another card and another bunny. That's just cute. I just like it. So that's Reaper King. That's what I have for the deck. Let me fan some cards out for the thumbnail. That'll probably be good. Those are some pretty cards, right? Make sure I get so people can see Perfidious God of the Forge. Okay, so that's the video. Let me know what you think. And again, as always, if you think I should cut something, or let me rephrase that. If you think I should add something, I need you to tell me what you would cut. Adding things is the easy part. Cutting things is where it gets difficult. It's like pulling teeth sometimes. So help a brother out.